Hi, welcome back to a brand new video of the Targeted Individual Program, Talk with the Experience. So I was just here, just on Facebook, responding to a post, right, that a looks like a Mexican made about the Atlantic slave trade. And of course, these people, um, they like to put out false information, all right? And, so when I see these things, I just have to chime in and, just let them know, no, you're wrong, okay? Do your research, look at the facts. I understand that sometimes we do research, and even when doing research, we may not get the correct information. But that's why you need to look at multiple sources. The multiple sources that are giving you, uh, very close, similar information, or even the same information. So you just can't just use just one source. And also, there's historical records, right? So you can go look at the historical records. A lot of them are available online. So people again don't really quite understand you know, when they see these videos, and it's usually, um, I'm sorry to say this, but it's usually, European women who push these narratives, particularly with these, uh, you know, other groups of men who are trying to lie when it comes to, trying to explain the history of black people, right? And but again, it is that colorism shit, that black women, European women, celebrate more than anybody else, right? So we're talking about, enslaved people, transatlantic slave trade, and and they're like, black people was already here. Yeah, black people was already here. Okay, black people was already here by the way of, particularly black Africans, by way of Europe, right? They first came here as indentured servants, and again, you got to go read past history, right? Go read before what happened before the enslavement of African people, right? Or the what is called the transatlantic uh, slave movement. Right? Go read on this stuff. Go read about black people who lived in Europe. Go read about the Moors, right? In southern Europe, Spain, Italy, Morocco. These Greece, right? These things you need to read about, right? And you have black people in Europe. The reason why Europe had a golden age is because of the knowledge that black people taught Europeans. Okay? You need to read about these things. And then, after uh, France and Britain drove the Moors out of southern Europe, the Catholic Church, right? Because again, the Moors built Europe first universities. So with all that information, what the Catholic Church did was they took the information, the elites, they took the information, they kept it for themselves, okay? And they educated themselves to be a people with a higher knowledge, right? So you got to go read about these things. So anyway, so in the slave trade, the Atlantic slave trade, and people got to remember too, which they don't talk about. They don't talk about because they don't want us to know the truth as black people. Okay, after the abolition, I wouldn't even say after, but during enslavement, you had what is called slave breeding farms, right? It wasn't as prominent until after um, the abolition of slavery, and you see within after the abolition of slavery, right? With very little imports, those slaves who were imported was done illegally. You will see within the past, what, 2 decades, okay, the population of enslaved people grew exponentially, right? With again, no, very little importation of enslaved people from Africa. And again, if they were imported, it was done illegally, right? But you see the exponential growth of enslaved people. A big part of that, particularly in the South, is because of the slave breeding farms. And this is what they don't want to talk about. Not only, I'm getting angry, but not only forcing, right, the male slave to have sex with the female slave, but they will force family members to have sex with each other. All right. Then they start. Then because again, the slave what didn't was too traumatizing. What do? They put bags over their head. They put bags over their head so that they wouldn't see who was having sex with them. Imagine what that have done to the offspring born because of the slave breeding farm. Okay, and then being sold. So you have people today who don't even understand that they might be married to their cousins. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like they great grandparents might be relatives. Right? This is why they don't want to talk about the slave breeding farm. This is why they downplay it. But then you go look at the population growth, it tells you a different story. All right? Talk to you guys in the next video. Oh, by the way, so as I was reading this, all right, and I got to the children here, it says, by the turn of the 19th century, many mixed race families in Virginia dated to colonial times. White women, generally indentured servants, had union with slave and free African descended men because of the mother status. Those children were born free and often married other, free people of color. Now, when I was reading it, I'm not reading this loud like I'm reading it loud, but internally, okay. When I got to the part where it says free people of color, they used the car horn. Okay. So remember what I talk about using color, also, color psychology. All right. So I want you to think about what type of message they just sent me. Okay. Talk to you guys in the next video.